Welcome back, guys, to Football Dynasties. I'm your host, Dell. It is week 4, start and sit edition, last minute. I think going forward, we're going to be doing our show for start and sits on Saturdays, just so that we can get all the injury reports in and get all the information that we can, so we can give you the most accurate information. So yeah, Saturdays, midday, late in the day. I'm not sure. I'll try to get it out as early as we can. But for now, start and sit, week 4. Let's do it. All right, guys, let's go over the injury report first, because this kind of leads into who I'm starting and who I'm sitting this week. So let's just kind of go through some of the big injuries so far. Jaylen Warren for the Steelers, he's going to be sitting out. So Najee Harris, give him a go for sure. He's going to get pretty much all the carries at this point. I don't really even know why we wouldn't start Najee, especially with Jaylen out. So go ahead, if you got Najee, don't think twice, put him in, especially against Colts D that's giving up the most rushing yards in the league. So go ahead, give Najee the start. Evan Ingram's out as well, so Brenton Strange is going to get to start there for Jacksonville. He had 5 targets last week. I'm not going to start him unless I'm in dire need of a tight end. I might give him a go, but for right now, we're sitting Brenton Strange. Tank Dell is out. So Nico, slightly injured. He came up on the injury report earlier in the week. So this looks like a Stephon Diggs game. He has been producing. The previous game, it was mostly garbage time yards, but for fantasy, that's all that matters. He gets his yards, he gets his touches. So Tank Dell out, Nico kind of injured. I think Nico is still going to play from what everyone is saying. So I'm starting Stephon Diggs. Dameon Pierce as well for the Texans. He's out. Joe Mixon is still questionable, but I think before the end of today he'll be down to doubtful, which means he probably won't play. So if you are a Cam Akers owner and you need a running back, let him in there. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, they're all out. Philly, they've got a big game this week, and they're going to be without their 2 big receivers. So it's going to be tough to see them take out Tampa. But I can still see it happening, especially after that Goddard game from last week. Jalen Hurts looks a lot better than he did last year. I'm not going to pick the Eagles to win that game, but for fantasy purposes, Dallas Goedert, 100% you're starting him. And if you need a flex option and you're in one of those deep 12-man leagues, Jahan Dotson, man, just look at him. He's been averaging, what did I have here? 80% of the snaps in game 2. That got up to 88% of the snaps in game 3. No Devontae Smith, no A.J. Brown, so Dotson is probably going to be out there 90% of the time this week. So if you're in need of a flex player, get Jahan Dotson in there. Let's see, who else do we got? Oh, Trey McBride. Trey McBride is hurt. The concussion protocol, he did not pass it. So Michael Wilson. I think Michael Wilson's going to have a big game. I think they're going to try to take away Marvin Harrison, and that's going to open up for Michael Wilson, especially with McBride out. So I'm probably starting Michael Wilson this week, especially in a flex position if I need one. He's definitely going in. Devontae Adams, Michael Mayer, both out. Brock Bowers, baby. This is it. This guy might be the number 1 tight end next season. Drafted, especially for fantasy. Pains me to say it, he is a Raider. But man, Brock Bowers he's just good. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else. You heard it in the last podcast. Bowers, just a beast. So with Devontae out, Michael Mayer out, Brock Bowers is getting the go. And Jacoby Myers, I'm very safe and comfortable saying that he should be starting for you. So a quick review on the injury report again. Jaylen Warren, Tank Dell, the big names, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Michael Mayer, Trey McBride, all those guys out. I kind of mixed up my list there, so before the podcast is over, I'll make sure I give you my top 5 starts and sits in order. Let's do our sits real fast. Number 1, Matthew Stafford. I'm not playing that guy this week. Just too many question marks there going into this game. He doesn't have any of his receivers going at it. So I'm not comfortable saying, yeah, we're going to give Stafford the go this week, especially against that Bears defense. That Bears defense, man, they're stopping people. And Stafford with no weapons, no thank you. My number 2 sit, it's going to be Travis Etienne. It's kind of been trending that way the last couple games. He hasn't been as explosive as he was in that first game. So I am going to go ahead, especially against Houston. They're ranked 8th in stopping the run. So I'm definitely not going to put him out there. He's been doing decent fantasy points wise. He's averaging like 14.5, 15. But his touches, especially with Tank coming out, have kind of decreased slightly. I got him down here for about 68% of the snaps. Still a lot, majority of it for sure. But against this Houston's run D, I'm going to sit him down. My third sit of the week is going to be Anthony Richardson for back-to-back weeks. I said it last week, if you listened. Against the Steelers, man, I just don't see it. He didn't play well last week either. That accuracy is starting to become it's going to be a crutch if he doesn't get that figured out soon. He killed it in that first game fantasy-wise, but he only completed 9 passes in that game. The last game, he was 10 for 20. The rush numbers, fantasy, we would like to see that maybe go up just so we can keep putting him in the lineup. But as of right now, especially against Pittsburgh, I'm sitting Richardson this week. My fourth sit, I'm officially off the Zamir White bandwagon. I don't see a way for this guy to make something happen anymore. His touches are decreasing as the weeks have gone. He's not doing a whole lot with it. With Cleveland, I'm good. Sorry, Zamir. We're off that. We're sitting him. My fifth sit, same game, Deshaun Watson. I'm not starting him after a bad week for the Raiders in the previous week. I think Max Crosby, they say he's a little bit injured, but I think he's going to bounce back. And we're going to sit Deshaun. All right, let's get to our starts. My number 1 start, Caleb Williams. 360 yards, 2 TDs last week. Yes, he had the interceptions, but with that kind of production for fantasy, sign me up every week. So Caleb against the Rams, we've all seen everyone what they've done against the Rams this season thus far. Look for DJ Moore and Rome to probably have a big game. Keenan will be back, but I don't think they'll put him out there 100% of the time. So Caleb, he's getting the nod. Number 2 start of the week. I hate to say it, but I'm going to go with Travis Kelce this week. We all need tight ends this season. The tight end position has been so scarce up to this point. Travis Kelce is the Chargers killer. Loves doing that to my squad, and I think that this is the week where he bounces back. So Travis Kelce owners, be happy. My third start, I touched on it earlier, Stephon Diggs. Must start, especially with Tank out and Nico nursing the injury. No question there. Stephon Diggs, he gets to go. And my last start of the week, I'm going to put him in my flex. I got him in a couple fantasy leagues. Jahan Dotson. I think Goddard, that big game last week, they're going to kind of move that coverage more towards him. And it's going to give Jahan a chance. This is the chance for him if he wants to keep seeing playing time when Devontae and AJ come back. If he can come up with a good game here, I see them giving him a lot more snaps going forward. All right, guys, that was our injury report, our starts and sit. I will have the starts and sit on our X/Twitter, old Twitter, X now, whatever you want to call it. Our full list will be on there, so follow us there. Once again, guys, like, follow, subscribe, share with all your buddies. This was the last minute start and sit, week 4. We'll see you guys next week.